Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So, I've been working on this for a little while. My tablet not working, where's my cursor? There it is. Okay, there we go. I just lost my cursor for a second there. Alright. Well, I think this one's been going pretty okay. I looked at it a little before stream here. I still don't think I quite like the rays of light coming through here, but I think I will actually fix those a little bit later. As much as I'd like to go in and do corrections right away, I don't actually think I want to this time. So I'm gonna go hide the foreground, and I'm just going to go and finish things here. Gonna finish her body, get the coat all done. The lighting I will probably save for the end. But, you know, things are getting there. And I think the first thing I want to do is, like, her hands and the sleeve to her coat. And I also want to decide if I want to keep this weird white thing, because, I don't know, man, whenever I put the foreground back on, I just feel like there's a random bit of white kind of interfering with the composition. I kind of hate it. So I might end up getting rid of it entirely. Looking at her reference here, does go away in the side view, so anyway, I'll worry about that when the time comes, I suppose. But for now, oh yeah, because I have the hands just kind of doing things on separate layers there. For now, I'm gonna hide it, and I'm gonna start with the sleeves of the coat before I do the hands. The hands are a little hard to see right now, but the coat goes on top of them anyway. So I just like to start with the things that kind of go on top. And the first thing that I really want to look into is making sure that I like the way the sleeves are fitting together. And right now I'm not so sure. I'm gonna go hide her head for a second there. This is one of those places that whenever I feel like there's a little bit of discomfort somewhere, it's a good idea to hide all the things on top of it and kind of isolate it. And right now, the way I'm looking at this is I don't know what's going on in this sleeve at the moment. I think it might just be that this thing is facing the wrong way. But I do know that I have the arms themselves drawn, so I do know where they're sitting underneath here. This is why I took the time to at least draw them roughly. So that this way I would have an idea of where I needed that coat to go. And indeed, I think I might be making things stick out a bit too much here. I wanted to follow the arm just a little bit more. Okay, that's not dirt, that's just some other stuff. And then when I think about where the sleeve is going to bunch up, it's... Again, you know what? I'm gonna make my life a little bit easier. I don't have any trouble seeing what I'm doing right now, but I think it'll be easier to explain if I make the contrast here a little bit higher. So I'm gonna invert the colors on the dress. So you can see the wrist is kind of going down like this, and then bending here. And when you look at the coat, this is a very, very large, loose-fitting coat. It bunches up a lot around the wrists, and that's kind of what I was going for with the way that I drew it before. But I don't think I took it into account nearly strongly enough where there's going to be a pinch and where there's going to be a stretch. Because if you look at this arm here, the wrist is turning a little bit this way. So if you can look at your own wrist, you can turn it all kinds of directions. It's very useful. So when I look at this area, compared to how it would be if her arm was straight, if the wrist was straight, it's pulling it a little bit here. So there's going to be a little bit of a pinch here. And since there's a pinch here on the other side, this part is going to be stretched out a little bit more. And I don't think I'm showing the pinch in that very well. So let's... First, I want to construct a lot of the stuff bunching up on the wrist in general, because I realized that I didn't really do that. So let's get just the basics in there. So just by default, it's going to be kind of like this. It's got to be a little bit hard on this side, because like I said, there's got to be a pinch there. So I'm going to add an extra fold on the part covering the hand. There's just going to be an extra little fold there. And then I'm going to worry about where it kind of bunches up around her wrist. So this side is going to be stretched, so I actually want to put a little bit more space between these folds. But still kind of keep this pattern of just everything is group it up together right around here. Oh, me hitting C instead of X again. It happens. Okay. And I'm gonna put the color of the dress back now that I'm not looking at the hand. This is why I think for the most part I would not have switched the colors there if I was drawing alone, but having the extra contrast definitely made it easier to explain. Okay, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a bunch here. There we go. So I think that looks a little bit more bunched up, and now I can kind of try to feel out how it's going to work on the arm part itself. So here is also going to be a little bit more bunched up, so I'll let the fold kind of dive into the rest of the arm here. Whereas this side, it's going to be a little bit more stretched out. So let's get that idea in there. And so I want to make it look like it's like folding on top of her wrist there. So I'm going to add another little one right here, actually. Like I said, it's bunching up. It's bunching up a lot on this side. And then I'll let it kind of go normally into this area. Okay. And then around the elbow, I think I need a few more little bunches as well. Get it all kind of going the right way. And then, unfortunately, the way I have this little bunch there is making it look like that this is like the edge, and it's not covering her arm there, that the elbow is like right here, when that is not my intention. The elbow is down here. It's like a little off screen even. So I better get that looking a little bit better. Add another one here. So how am I going to do that, actually? I guess I just might make this part a little bit less lumpy than I would normally make it, in order to make it clear that, yes, the elbow is down here. And I'll just send this part further down, like all the way down. I don't want the location of her body parts to be unclear, so... It's kind of important. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit better. That is a bit better, I think. So... let's see, is there anything else that I think would make this a little bit stronger? I don't know. I think it looks like it's bunched up around her wrist. Not quite as strongly as I would like here. Like, when I look at what's going on in the sleeve right there, this is like several things just billowing on top of each other, and I do want to give a little bit more of that impression. So, I think to do that, I would need to fully, like, cover this area. I think this one might actually need to be more up here if I'm gonna do it like this. So, alright, we're just gonna do some painting and feel it out of things right now. I do clothing folds on... strongly on intuition, but to be fair, I do lots of things strongly on intuition. After a while, they just kind of feel right to me. So I just gotta kind of sculpt a little bit until I get that feeling back. So I'm gonna add what looks like a few different layers of things going on here. And I think that should eventually get me what I want here. Yes. Yes, it will. Okay. So, I think that's a lot better. That looks super just... like it's melting out of her hand, which is perfect. And then just looking at proportions, I don't actually think I have this part quite long enough. I think it's sitting on her hand fine. But I just need to... there we go. Get that, and I think, to an extent, with the way that I have it here, it should look like it's... this side is the same length as this side, because this side is getting bunched up, whereas this side is being stretched out. And then I think if I change the location of this shadow and let this part just kind of flop over like this, then that'll cover the rest. And now it should look long enough. Indeed it does. Easy peasy. Okay. I want to get the other sleeve now. And make sure that's all going the way it should. I don't mind this part sliding down her fingers a little bit. But just for the sake of keeping things... oops, wrong layer. Separate from the dress and making it easier to see the hands, I'm actually going to extend it just a little further. Okay. And once again, I want to hide the sleeves. This way I can kind of see where the arm is going. It's going out like this. Okay, so I think this side is actually pretty alright. Just gotta push this out over here, and then I think that this will make it clear that the elbow is kind of off screen. I think that's okay. Now, where is the pinch happening here? I'll go ahead and hide this layer for a moment. But you can see that this hand, it's kind of coming from off screen up here. And then there's a shift where the hand kind of moves upward. So there's going to be a pinch on this side and a stretch on this side. I think when you hear people talking about this, they're mostly talking about the waist. Because when you're bending at the waist, and you can see me dancing in real life here. You can try it yourself. Just try leaning over to one side and put your hand on your hips and your waist area. And you'll feel one side kind of bunch up and the other side kind of stretch out. And it's true when you lean forward and backwards too. You'll feel it in your tummy or in your back. So that's a good way to just kind of emphasize whatever little bit of, I don't know, dynamicism in your pose that you want to emphasize. It helps, trust me. Okay, so this is going to be a little interesting because I have to do the same thing, but on 2 layers. Because I want this part to be covering the hand, but I don't want this part to be doing annoying things. So I'll still keep it on this layer. It's fine. I'll manage. Okay, so once again... Pain. Okay. Once again, take 2. I want a little bit kind of covering up the sleeve there. Sleeve can be a little tighter. Yeah. So this time the pinch is on this side, so I'll send this side a little bit longer. And this side can kind of sit like this a little bit more, I think. We'll let it cover a lot of her fingers there. And then I can add just the little bit of bunching up that's happening here. More triangles. I told you guys, triangles are great. I love them. Okay, and here I'm going to start plopping where I think the coat's going to be overlapping on here. So something like that, and then the sleeve bit's gonna be kind of like this, I guess. I think this is fine. Something like that, I guess. I think that should work. I'll send it mostly to the edge here. And I can add some little bumps over here. This is the side that's stretching, so I don't want it to be too bumpy or anything. But I can put a little one in there. There we go. Okay. Now I should be able to do most of everything else on this layer. That's the hope anyway. You never know how things are going to shake out, but... Go ahead and add the points where I think this coat should be bunching up here. So I'll go ahead and just let this part kind of flop around like this. And then I'll just keep doing that until I think it is sufficiently bunchy. And then a couple just more nice little lines around the elbow. Where it's all coming together around there. But that's going to be a little bit more implied. Okay. And then I just want to add a few more on the bottom here, just reasons. Okay, and then I think that should make all of that look pretty good. Let's go give her head back. So that this way I know where to focus my rendering time. Alright, yeah, that looks like... That looks super wrinkly at this point. So that should be pretty good. I'm gonna zoom out and try to do just a little bit more construction here. On where I think some of these darker parts will be. Try to get as much of this into one layer as I can. It'll just make things a little bit easier to manage. Because personally, I'm not a huge fan of doing a bunch of weird layer management. It is work. Okay, and I think I want a dark spot on this side. Actually, no, this side. Because, yeah, my light source is over here, so this side should be the light side. And then when I look at the code itself, there's like a little rough texture there. At least I think that's supposed to be a texture and not a pattern. And I'm going to add that at the end. Once everything else is rendered to my liking, I'll go ahead and add those little lines there to make that part look a little bit rougher. But for now, I just want to focus on the code itself. So I'll be doing something like this for just everything. I'm going to get this side as well, but, you know, one thing at a time. My brush can only put down a color in one area, so I gotta do that. I think it's fine for this to be a little bit more implied, and I think I would actually like my elbow to be a little bunchier. So I'm gonna send this a little further up. This is why I'm doing this part zoomed out. This is where I just really dig into, like, literally everything. And it's much easier to do that when you're zoomed out and can see the entire picture. So there we go. That's a little better, I think. I'm not used to drawing such wrinkly clothes, or such oversized clothes, I think is probably the more accurate term. But I think that looks okay. Okay. Now this side. I'm not going to put the cast shadows from the hair and stuff in yet. I think I will do that a little bit later. I'll probably do it before I start rendering, but I just want to focus on the shapes the coat itself is making. Just really, really construct them. Make sure that they're all looking very nice. Because after all, when you're drawing the anime girl, you can kind of get away with a lot. So I prefer making shapes that are just pleasant looking, as opposed to realistic. So I do like to take a little bit of time and just think about, what will make this as appealing and nice to look at as possible. And right now I'm treating this coat as somewhere between an organic shape and an inorganic shape. Or I guess I should say, natural and man-made. I mean, it's clearly not inorganic, but it is man-made. So that means that there will be a hint of just human taste in the nature of how it's put together. And I guess that's always a funny thing to think about, too, of when something is made by humans, you can get away with a lot of things that humans just find pleasant, like symmetry or certain patterns and stuff. Whereas if you're trying to draw something that looks a little bit more natural, you want to be a bit more random. Occasionally do things that offend human sensibilities. It'll look more natural that way. Okay, and before I start rendering the code here, or the sleeves I should say, I actually want to go poke at the coat itself. And kinda figure out its major shadow groups. I don't actually think it has very many. I think I've already got most of them. I just want to make sure things flow into the sleeves nicely here. So I think I'm just going to do something like that and call it good. The back still looks fine to me. Alright, I'm just looking at it for a second. But I think we're good. Yeah, and then I'll add some more gradient lights like I did for the hair. Man, hold on, I got some phlegm in my throat. Give me a moment. For whatever reason, my throat has just been, having a rough time. Okay. Might need to embrace the honey water again. See if I can get all that stuff out of there. Okay, so now this is the point where I start smoothing the outer edge. So this will mess with a lot of the shadows and stuff I just drew, but that's fine. I'm mostly caring about the outside here. And getting that nice and smooth. Oh yeah, and I should also put in the cast shadows for the hair, but, you know, I'll do that after I smooth it out. My goal for today is to completely finish rendering Ririsya. Or, excuse me, Ririsya. So, hopefully I can do that, and then after that, I can get into some of these background elements. I doubt I'll finish the whole thing today. But I do think I can finish the girl. So here's hoping. As always, still just trying to pay a little bit more attention to speed. Okay, and I think before I render this proper, I want to do this hand. Where is my umbrella stick anyway? Maybe I should kind of render that a little bit too. I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's not super important. But yes, I am trying to pay a little bit more attention to how fast I do things still. If I would like to draw comics, I gotta know. But we'll see if I end up being cut out for it, because man, I gotta say, I really... As I am now, I really don't like speed painting. It's made Inktober a little bit more on the... stressful is accurate, but it's more than that. It's a little bit sad. I feel like that my skills just go down the toilet in a really bad way anytime I just try to be fast. So I end up just making a bunch of things that I don't really like very much. And it's I laugh because otherwise I would cry. It's not a great feeling. I missed a spot here. Oh, no, I didn't. That's from the hand. Okay, never mind. We're good. Well, yeah, it's kind of a sad feeling. At some point, I'd just like to find a way to both draw fast and in a way that works for me and lets me make things that I still enjoy. And maybe they're not much, like, not the best I can do. Like what would happen if I spent multiple streams working on the same illustration. But you know, enough that I can still enjoy looking at it, and I can look at it and be like, oh yes, this looks pretty okay. I was hoping to kind of discover that in Inktober, but it's really hard to experiment in Inktober. I just gotta kind of push out everything, and that does make it a little bit hard to be doing some science, you know? But after Inktober, I'm definitely going to be breaking from the speed paints for a while. I will definitely Be trying to make some things off stream still. There just may not be necessarily a consistent posting schedule. And of course, in November, I'm going to be doing the equivalent of Nano. So I am going to be trying to write my comic script next month. The whole thing. The first draft, at least. So we'll see how that goes. But I feel like I'm in a state where, at least writing-wise, I just kind of gotta vomit out the first draft. Can't worry about whether or not it's good. It's got to exist. Oh, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Shoot. Okay. Can't do that. Okay. I definitely do not want that on the wrong layer, so let me make sure I have it all gone. Alright, there we go. Let's try that again. And it's fine if I cut off a little bit more than initially intended. I'll fill it all in on the layer below. There we go. Just fill that little guy in, and all is well. Oh, what is this? There's like... Is that a piece of hair that I didn't erase properly? I think it is. How did hair get down there? Oh, it's not. More hair? More hair. There we go. It was indeed hair. Okay, I still want to collapse all the head layers because I'm not changing them very often. Okay. So hopefully with this and just kind of going front to back, I can know which areas need, which areas will be overlapping, and that should make my life a little bit easier. So I'll go ahead and do this little sleeve part first, so that this way I can just do both her hands real quick. And, well, I guess I'll do the sleeve part before I do this hand, but well, once I get this hand, I will know exactly what's going on here. And then I can just focus on making that look nice without having to worry about the hand being in the way and stuff. So, let's go ahead and start here. Start on this little bit of sleeve here. And all I'm gonna do is basically just smooth out what I already drew, so it should be a pretty straightforward. I just want to make this shadow here look like the bottom part of a little fold here. And this is trying something. I'm not sure if I'm going to like that. No, this part is facing the light source directly, so I think I want to keep it free of shadows. If the light source was more coming from the top or somewhere where it would hit here as opposed to over here, I would have done something like that. That's why I said I just wanted to try it. You always gotta try things. So now it's just a matter of getting everything nice and smooth. That's why this is the smoothing episode. The episode where I go through and smooth all the things. Rendering does tend to be a bit slow, but it looks nice, so it's worth the extra effort in the end. But here, I can afford to be just a little bit lazier than usual. Because the main focal point here is going to be like her face and the little rainbow and all that nice stuff, which is on the exact opposite side of the screen here. So I don't need to worry too much. I say as I zoom in so I can really get it smooth, but I can indeed afford to be just a little bit lazier than I would be on the face. This is always why I like to render focal points first. I know that there are some people that like to do them last, but I gotta do it first. Because while I have the most enthusiasm for the picture, it is when I like to do those areas. Because after a while, I do get tired, and once I'm tired, then it does make it a little bit harder to go through and keep working on things. It really does. So that's where I like to just let my perfectionism have all the fun early on when I still have the most energy. And I'm not just being like, okay, I think I'm ready to be done. Okay. So that should be good there. Now I'm gonna just go for the hands. Oh wait, that's right. I also have this bit of hair here that I would like to have a slight hint of where the shadow is going to be for that, and it's like right there. So now I feel like the shadow is casting a little bit better. Okay. Now hand. I already think they look pretty okay, so this is just smoothing out what's already there. Okay. And there I hid the head briefly so that this way I could make sure that I was understanding what it is I was smoothing. I already know the hair is not going to change. It is complete and fully rendered. So all is well. And I can trust its location just fine. I'm thinking about how these fingers are curling, and I think that something like that is accurate. And then I can just kind of draw a hint of a finger, like right there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. I need to make them a little bit less blocky. This is just a side effect of me thinking in cubes, but fingers are not known for being very blocky, so I better go in and kind of round them out a little. Make them a little bit softer looking. Like, this is a cute girl's hands. If I was drawing a man, maybe a blocky hands would make sense. But when it is on a cute girl, it must be soft, smooth, and a little bit more feminine. So I gotta erase all those harsh edges and make it nice and soft. That'll happen on the inside of this one. But while I'm trying to make things nice and soft, I gotta be careful because if I'm not, they will just look like sausages, and that is also not a sign of soft and smooth. That is just a sign of things being, I don't know, unappealing. Truly the worst sin you can commit. Forget being ugly. You can make you can make ugly features appealing. You can't make unappealing things look nice. It's not possible. And besides, I think what features are considered kind of ugly can change over time. Otherwise, people wouldn't be wearing fake freckles. Because when I was a young person, you know, roughly 14 billion years ago, people actually got made fun of for having too many freckles. So, there you go. These things can change. But being unappealing, well, that's just always bad. Okay, how's that looking so far? Fine, I think. The fingers might be a little bit thick. I'm a little bit worried about that. But I think it's okay. Let's get some shadows in there. Let's see, is that dirt or is that a hole? That's a hole. Okay. I always check for these things because sometimes I like miss a spot when I'm filling things in, and it just leaves behind this tiny little hole that when I lock transparency on the layer that I just cannot fill in. So I gotta fix that. Anyway, I'm hoping this just makes it look like we're seeing a little bit of the side of each finger as opposed to just making all the fingers look fat. So I am hopeful that it'll be fine. Like I said, it's far enough away from the focal points that I think it'll be okay. Although I think I mentioned last stream that I feel like more and more people are paying a closer attention to hands because they think it'll let them detect AI or something. But my stance on that is just like, seriously, who cares? But it is something I have to keep in mind a little bit more now. But I won't be detailing these fingers too much. They are too far away from the focal point for me to care. So I'm just gonna kind of let them fade into shadow here and just not keep them very detailed. So I'm going to show a little bit of the side here. I'm never sure how much I should show when it comes to this kind of effect. Here I should probably show a lot, but just because we do see a little bit more of the pinky here. But for the most part, I'm just going to let it fade into shadow. It's fine. Okay, and then I can add the other shadows for the sleeve and the hair. So I'll just do that like this. And hair, I'll let be just kind of like this. Okay. So I think that's good. Yeah, it looks fine to me. I will go ahead and add the gradient that I kind of did to the skin too. I'll just make this side just a little bit darker than the rest. And is there anything else I would like to do? Actually, yes. Even though she is slightly undead, the fingers have blood vessels close to the surface, so it's another place where it is worth adding a little bit of red. Just kind of like around the knuckle area especially. So I will do that. Not too much though. She is still undead, so I gotta keep to that, but I think that's pretty good. Okay, so with that hand all figured out, I think I can just go in and render out the rest of the sleeve, and I can get the other hand after. Okay. I guess I'll start on this side since I've already kind of got it started. And it's also on top anyway, so. That seems like a perfect place to start. So this is, you know, just where I go in and kind of perfect everything that I already drew. And I want it to be nice and lumpy. Normally I see lumpiness as kind of a bad thing, but the lumpiness is appropriate here. I mean, I still want the edges to be smooth, like this needs to be smooth. I don't want random little lumps doing stuff like that. That's kind of terrible, but the code itself is a little bit lumpy, so I do want to put some lumps in there. And the other big thing that I'm checking for is I don't want any sharp corners like here, because this coat is soft and draping and loose, and it is just bunched up everywhere. So everything must be very, very round in order to give it that impression. You notice that even these little corners that are coming off, that are bunched up there, I've rounded them off quite a lot. It'll make it look a little bit more bunched together. I think for this one, I might even do this. It looks like I'll have to go back and erase part of the sleeve, but that's fine. That's hardly work at all. Hardly work at all. I guess it's a little bit of work since I gotta kind of pay attention to this corner. I might go through and add a little bit of darkness through there. But I'll see how that shakes out with this. Yeah, it'll probably be easier just to manually put in a little bit of a dark spot rather than erasing. Down here I need to erase. It's okay. Down there is like not relevant to anything at all anymore. There we go. Nice and round still. Look how round it is. I just kind of want to let the sleeve meld into this. So there we go. Okay, so I got more stuff from the upper sleeve layer here. I'll just go ahead and kind of round off that corner here then. I don't really need to paint anywhere else in that area, so this is fine. And looking at it, I actually think here's a little bit sharp, so I'm gonna go ahead and round it out just a touch. Okay. As always, you know, if I see problems, I'll go ahead and fix it. No real reason not to. And then I'm just, you know, finding the general shapes that kind of come out of the other shapes that I drew. All that good stuff, and gradually I'll just get through all this and it'll be lovely. And even though I'm adding some things here and there, I do think that the general gist of what I already drew is looking good enough that I can stay zoomed in and just smooth things out to my heart's content. And so this is, you know, kind of where my mind wanders around a bit because I don't really have much to think about anymore. This is all just very straightforward, very route. It's something that I kind of have to do. And I'm thinking about the other things that I need to do in order to finish her today, which I would still like to try to do. So I think after the code here, I have the other hand. And I have her dress. I have a lot of the decorations on the coat, so things like the zipper and that pattern on the back and the fur. The fur is going to take a hot minute. It definitely will. But I think that's probably the last really big... Oh no, back hair. Yes, that's right. I still have a little bit of hair to draw. So I was just thinking, maybe that's the last big thing, but nope, still got a little bit of hair. Fortunately, most of the hair is covered up by stuff, so there's not that much to draw. There is a little bit. I don't think I want this one to be quite that bulgy. Want it to be round, but I still want it to taper off into the most round triangle ever. Okay, that's just the edge, so I think that's fine. Alright, time for the other one. Let me see, do I have any hair I have to care about here? No, and I do think that the sleeve looks okay. I think I still will add a nice gold gradient. And that should make it look pretty nice. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Okay. So here I've got a lot of hair. Lots of hair going through here. Okay, so that'll be that thick strand there, and then the thin one coming off of it, and then there's another thin one, like, right here. So just, like, all the hair cast shadows here. So not much light's getting through that. It looks like I got some more hair here. It is kind of hard to tell where it is sometimes. I don't mind it kind of fading into nothing here. I don't think the exact location of the tips of the hair is really that important. So I'm actually pretty okay with all of this. Okay, so big thick strand like right here. I'm just gonna shade that entire area then. We got another thick strand like right here. Oops. This is what happens when I try to click too close to the top. Suddenly, we get another VTuber. Okay. So now I can kind of smooth out all of this. I don't want any kind of ugly tangents with the hair, so I'm gonna extend this one a little bit higher. I just don't want them to rub up on each other too closely. It makes things itchy and uncomfortable. And itchy really is the best term I've got to describe that feeling. It is just extremely itchy. Okay. I don't know, I feel like the folds there were a little bit too specific. Like there was just too many of them going on there. So I wanted to tone it back just a touch. But this, I think, is all looking all right. So now... gotta smooth that out. But yeah, we're getting into the rest of the sleeve proper here, which is awesome. And I do think I will do some of the details, like the zipper and stuff, before I shade the coat. Like, I don't always do that. But I think in this case it's appropriate. Just because the zipper will cast shadows, and it's pretty big and meaty, so... as far as zippers go. So I'd kind of like to know where it is before I get too far into shading off the rest of the coat. Because I do think that the front of the coat, well, besides the one hand, I do need to do the other hand. But besides that one hand, I do think that the rest of the coat is next. And then after that, I think it's going to be the umbrella pole, but I don't plan to do the rest of the umbrella yet. I just want to get the pole. If only because it'll be extremely easy. Just gotta put a little bit of shadow down there, and then gotta put a little highlight in. And that'll be it. Okay, and rather than smooth out the edge here, I guess I just decided to paint with shadow occasionally, and you know, that's fine by me. It's all good. But I am almost there, which is pretty exciting. Then I'll see what other... Well, no, I think before I add any, like, gradient highlights or anything, I kind of want to get the rest of the coat done. Maybe not the back, but at least the front parts. And then I'll go mess around with gradients and stuff. That seems like a good order to do things in. No, I can't do it like that. But I do kind of want just the smallest of shadows there, I think. No, I changed my mind. Okay. I think that would have been true if the light source wasn't like just like directly facing this part. Like even I think this shadow here is debatable. But I'll go ahead and leave this one in. I think this one looks okay. Okay. So that should be it. Let me see, what other kind of details on the code are there? I'm still debating if I want to use this white thing, but everything here is already not showing, so I do think it is just the zipper. The zipper, and then on the back side of the coat, I've got kind of this pattern going on. It's more triangular than what I have drawn for the moment, but that was just placeholder, so it's fine. And then, of course, fur. That fur is going to be a thing. Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and do the zipper, and actually looking at it, it's way less meaty than I thought it was. So I think I will actually do it after. I kind of want to define how large it's going to be, but I'm not going to do any more than that. Because yeah, I think I have it a little bit too thick. So I will clean up the edge. And it's actually quite small. So I'll just get that going. And don't worry, the parts that don't look quite right will be filled in once I'm happy. And the parts that are sticking out will be removed once I am happy. I gotta do one thing at a time here. I really do like this design. It has such a lovely muted color palette. With just that, a bit of purple to kind of make everything pop. And purple's my favorite color, so. I do tend to prefer purples a little bit close to a dark, super saturated, bright royal purple, as opposed to the soft lavender used here, but it's still a nice purple. Getting a little bit too thin there, but that's okay. That's easy to fix. Yeah, I think I will just go ahead and finish out the front of the coat, and then I'll get that hand. Sounds good to me. And for once, this isn't because I'm trying to procrastinate on drawing that, it's just... Well, I feel like I'm already here, and I would like to just kind of finish what I started. Because the hands are mostly covered by code, right? So it doesn't really matter that much. And I'm just reminded of, here we are, drawing long, thin lines again. Truly the bane of my existence. So I'm just gonna take my time. Okay. I don't think this area matters that much, so I'm going to try to keep my perfectionism in check. And not worry about it too much, but... I do have a hard time with that still. It is true. I don't want the spots to get too thick or too thin. I think right here is a little bit too thin. And right here, perhaps a little bit too thick. And I don't think it has to be consistent all the way across. It's fine for the zipper to fold around a little bit, as long as I shade it accordingly. So that kind of relieves some of the pressure too. I'm not sure what's going on back here, actually. What is that? Is that more coat that I just need to fix? Or is it hair? I don't know. I guess it's the back of the coat, yeah. Okay. I want to make that a little bit more clear, but I think I'll do that with the foreground turned on. Just so I know how much of that is going to be covered and how much I have to care. That is one thing that I'm trying to do a little bit more often in order to speed up my process a little bit. Of just... It can be very tempting to hide layers, this way you can really dig in and make everything perfect, but then, you know, if you put other stuff on top of it, it's not going to be seen anyway, so why bother making it perfect? That happened with some of Rooney's hair on the right side, where I just ended up covering it with bats, so it's like, why did I even draw that? It would have made my life easier if I had done the foreground a little bit sooner. Just one of those things. Right, and when I look at the zipper, it kind of comes out on this thing. Like there's a little extension. And here I have it going off screen, so it's fine, but I should pay attention to it somewhat on this side. So I think over here, I would actually like this... Go just a little bit over here. And then I'll make this part of the coat a different color once I render it. So I think that'll make sense. So now I just gotta go in, get it all the right width. And this side is a little bit shorter because her arm is in the way sooner, so that is also nice. A little bit less straight line to draw. Look, I can fit it in the entire screen at 100% zoom. So it's nice and short. Nice, short. Okay, so I think I've only got a little bit more here where this part just feels a little bit too thick. This zipper was actually quite thin, and I'm surprised I wanted to make it so thick. Well, no, I'm not. Because most of the time when I draw the anime, the belts and zippers are like freaking huge. So, while I wasn't looking that closely, it just kind of took me by surprise. You never know what something looks like until you go try to draw it. I say it again and again, but it is the truth. I just was not really looking at it. It was letting my brain fill in some random bits of information with lies. Okay. I think I've almost got it. Man, there's just a couple of spots that look really blobby to me. Like, look at that little blob there. So I'm gonna zoom in a little closer to try to work out those blobs that just bother me. It's like, look, I do stuff like this and then wonder why I'm slow. It's not true. I don't wonder why I'm slow. I know exactly why I'm slow. That's why I say what's gonna make it so I can actually draw fast, I think, is less curbing the perfectionism and more just finding a particular art style that I can draw very quickly that I think looks good with minimal smoothing. And that'll be the hard part. That and perhaps learning how to draw proportions on the first time through. So I just need to do a bunch of body studies as well. Don't worry, I have narrowed down the things I want to try and the things I need to study. It's just I haven't had a chance to do that. I was doing a little bit of that before Inktober started, but with Inktober here, I don't really have time to do studies right now. I just don't. Okay. So there we go. I think that's pretty good. Oh, I made this one a little thinner than that one. I think it's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Where's my coat layer? Okay. So first things first, I want to fill in the stuff here and erase the stuff that is not relevant to that. Are you a stray pixel from the sleeve? No. Okay, so that means it's probably a hole in the skin that I'll have to fill in. Go ahead and just paint coat color here. There we go. So that's all that filled in, and now I guess I will smooth out this side while I prepare to do the final rendering for the coat. It honestly already looks pretty good. I don't think I have to smooth out this side at all. Is it, like, blurry at all? It doesn't look blurry to me, so I'm not gonna go over it again. I'm just gonna go right into smoothing this edge. And then I will put in the correct colors for everything. That was not really a successful smoothing. Oh well. I'll go and fix it. Okay, and that should be good. Now then, the color that is kind of on the zipper here. Yeah, you could even see it on this angle. And it looks like there's actually like a slit here. So I should probably introduce another shadow going across. But for now, let's just get this color in. As always, one thing at a time. And I think on this side, let's see, do I need it on that side? I'm just thinking about how the zipper's folded open there. I can't tell if it's only a different color on the inside or if, like, on the other side of this, it's also that color. It doesn't really show us. So I'm going to assume it is. And just put a little bit of extra color there. And I'm also wondering if I have this side of the zipper a little bit too long. If maybe I should cut it down a little. Let's see. I think I do, actually. So I'm gonna let it disappear behind her hair here. Which should mean that I change the shape of the coat just a little bit here. I think I'll just let it fold like this. It matters a little bit, so I will take care of that. I'm still not quite sure what this is back here. Is it something in the background? No, it's something on her. Yeah, probably is just the back of the coat. Yeah, okay. Good to know. Because, I mean, what I think I'm going to do there is I'm just going to make it all shadow color anyway. So, because it's been bothering me multiple times now... There. Done. Easy. Okay. So I would like to get a shadow color for this. So I think I will do that right now. I don't like that color. Let's try something in this realm. That's much better. All right. So I want to keep it pretty close to here. Give it the impression of just it going upward, I guess, is the best way I can describe it. Like it's pointing toward the viewer. So it'll be quite thin. And I think that's probably good enough. I do need to fill in the extra holes, though. That's important. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. I do want to figure out what's going on there. What are you? Are you just a piece of the body that didn't get filled in? You are. Okay. And that is another thing. We're all as well again. All right. So this side is fine. I don't think it needs any additional detail. But I'll go ahead and add just a little bit of shadow right here on this one. The zipper I will worry about in just a little bit. I want to get the rest of the coat done. I'll go ahead and add just a little bit of shadow under here. So I need to kind of construct the shadows on the coat here again. Let's see, what do you look like? Let me remind myself. Oh, that little slit actually isn't there on this one. And it also looks like it goes a little bit higher on the coat. I should fix that as well. As sad as it is to have to draw more zipper. It doesn't have to go that much higher though, so all is well. It's also a little bit too bad that I erased so much on the other side to line it up here, but I just kind of let it disappear into her hair, so I think it's okay. I don't know, maybe I should add just a little bit, like right there. Oh no, it's super buried in her hair. I'd have to go way far in order to get it out, so you know what? It's perfect. Perfect. Okay, sometimes I feel like as long as I do my due diligence and checking things, that it just immediately makes me feel better, so. Alright, so I just gotta straighten out this part. I also see that I colored a little bit outside the lines there, but that's easy to fix. All right. Just get this a little bit thinner right through there, and I think that is good. So I think the first thing I want to do is fix that because that's bothering me, and now I can just let this roll off the edge here like this. And I see a spot here that did not get smoothed properly, so I better fix that too. Okay, so let's see. I want to look at her design again. Does the zipper kind of extend? Yeah, it extends just a little bit beyond that. So once again, I'm going to add just a little bit right there. And hopefully that will be the end of zipper-based adventures. Okay. And just while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and smooth this. Okay, I think that's pretty good, and I think that is everything related to that. I do still want just a little bit of shadow here. I think it looks good. I think it gives the entire thing just a little bit more presence. And makes it clear that it exists above this part of the coat. But it's still very, very close. It's very, very close to the coat. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna thin this part out a little bit. And I think this is really the only thing that needs shading here. I like the shape that I put in. So I'll go ahead and make it nice and lumpy and nice and smoothed out, but I think that's basically it for coat shading. So I think that's good. Let me see, is there any other details on the front part of the coat here? I don't think so, unless I'm gonna draw the white thing. But I don't know, I just don't like having that bit of white there. It just... I don't like it, man. So, no, I don't think I'm gonna draw it. I think I'm just gonna leave all it black like this. I think it's great. I just feel like having the white there takes away from the face, and that's terrible. I don't want to do that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get this hand, and then I'll go do the zipper, because I think the zipper is the only detail on the front side of the coat, and I don't want to do the pattern on the back side of the coat yet. I'm just thinking here. So I got that. I need to get her body. But that's going to be pretty straightforward. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and get this hand. I'm going to invert the colors of the dress just to make things a little easier for me to see. And I'm not worried about doing this because I do know that once it comes time to detail the dress, I will pay a little bit more attention to contrast between the hands and the dress. I'm just not worried about doing it yet. It's not really important. If you watch my speed paints, especially the speed paints I've been doing for Inktober, you'll see that I often use a hot pink to just draw certain areas. And the reason I do that is to make it easy to see. But then I go back and I add the necessary contrast a little bit later. I just don't like having to do it right from the get-go. I think it just makes it easier to focus on the general shapes. And then focus on where I want to put some of the exact contrast and stuff. I do. Let's be focused on one thing at a time. And that's what's going on here. Hello there, Beanie. Welcome back. All right. So I get to be super lazy on this hand, and that is fine by me, because it is mostly covered up by hair. By hair and by sleeves. It's okay, it's nice to be lazy sometimes. Oh, nice. What made you choose grapes? Okay. We gotta go ahead and draw some of these shadow parts here. I think I need to zoom in to really smooth out parts of this, but I just wanted to find a few shadows. Fair enough. Look, sometimes the idea just comes to you. Okay, grapes are delicious. And I'm sure they'd love to be drawn. Same reason? Or is there a reason for drawing tomatoes? It's okay. You don't need a reason to draw anything. The impulse is its own reason. Oh, you do? So I'm just kind of defining the basics of the fingers here before I go ahead and draw in my hair cast shadows, just so I kind of know what I'm doing. I do think it's important to at least have some idea of where you're going with certain things. Whoa, what was it? But yeah, I think it's important to have some idea of where you're going with this, but a lot of this is just going to be buried. I'm not going to completely bury it like I did here, but I'm going to get pretty dang close. There we go. And then the shadow from the sleeve. That's why I said I'm going to get pretty dang close, and I probably will still add a nice little gradient to this as well. But now I know where all these shadows are going to live, so it is time to smooth out the rest. I think I'll add another little one right there for this little strand of hair here. Actually, I don't think I got that one, did I? Maybe like, whoop, there we go. I think that's actually everything nice and smoothed out, so sweet. That was easy. I see. It's funny how that works out sometimes. Alright, then I just want a little bit of red on the knuckles here. There we go. Just a little, though. Definitely don't want to overdo it. Okay. And now I do feel like I have most of the coat pretty much done, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and grab all the light parts that I want to get hit by a little bit of gradient. Oops, that's right, that's on a different layer. I think that is too, actually. Yep, sure is. So I think that's gonna be the spots that get hit. Yeah, that's all on the sleeve. Oops, wrong button. There we go. And then on the coat itself. No, not the back of it, just the coat. There it is. Right there. Okay. And I think I do have the colors that I used on the hair saved, so I'll go ahead and grab that. And then I think I'm just going to make a separate layer here. I'll go ahead and call it Coat Light. And I'll paint it all on one layer so that this way I don't have to pull shenanigans. I don't like it when I have to pull shenanigans. Go ahead and grow the selection by a pixel, and I'll just go ahead and airbrush the side here. Oh yeah, and you also need to be set to color dodge. So we're gonna add a nice little bit of lightness out on this area that is facing toward the light. Do you just like the rain, or does something happen when it rains? Okay, and that should look pretty good. I want to take back just a few areas and give it a little bit of shape here. Oh, that's always nice too. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and then I want to add just a little bit of shadow gradient, which I think I'll just do on the layer themselves. The areas that I think should be a little darker. That's mostly back here. A little bit under the hair here. And then maybe just a little bit down here. Okay, and I think that's it for the coat. At least until I do the back part of it. So... stretch. Let's go do the dress. Actually, let's go do the umbrella pull. I think I want to do that first. So let's see. I don't think I have any, like, metallic colors anywhere, so I guess I'll... You know what? I think I can use the same one that I used for the gold. Hopefully that doesn't blend in too much. And actually, I still need to shade the zipper. I almost forgot, but I'll go ahead and do this first. You know what? I think I should just use the line tool. We'll just go boop. I wanted it thicker up at the top. I should use the mouse for this. That's a bit too thick. That's way too thin. Finding the right balance is hard. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay. And then I will just use a brush for various cast shadows and stuff. So I'll get some from her hair here. Gotta just apply them nice and carefully so that they will look nice. I see. Well, good luck. It does look like it's gonna get quite cold. Let's see, the hair here I kind of want to line up with the hands as well. A bit warm? Okay. All right. And then I do think I will add a little gradient right through there once again. Okay. And then, actually, I want another one here. Get a little bit from the hands here. What are you? Why is there a random spot there? Is that something from the hands? It is. Okay. And actually, on this other hand, I would kind of like a little bit more shadow there. Right here. Okay. Alright, now I'll add the little highlight that makes things look nice and metallic. So let me go pick a color here. Right about there looks good. I think I'll just go ahead and add it with the line tool again. I'm gonna put it on a different layer because I already know I'm gonna have to erase certain parts of it. And this will make it easier to deal with. Okay. That's too thick. Let me make this line thinner. But this way I can just do it all at once and not really worry about it. Just trying to find the right starting place and a good angle. Okay, I think that's good. And then I just want to erase all the spots that are kind of going through shadows. I just don't want the shadows and the highlights to occupy the same space because that's just weird. Not how highlights work at all. Hello there, Egg. Welcome. Thank you. I've been working on it for a while now. Okay. I mean, Egg is a pretty straightforward name. Egg is pretty straightforward. I've seen much more difficult ones. Why are you not selecting? Thank you. Okay. Actually, rather than do it like that, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna duplicate my highlight layer, and I'm gonna blur the edges just a little here and make it a little bit shiny. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. And I think it's a little strong, so I'm gonna tone it back just a little. How did I do the drawing? I don't know. I just draw the thing. It's I mean, I've been drawing for a long time, so it's probably safe to say a lot of it is just practice. Because I've just been going through and flopping down things where I think they should be. And right now I just want to make this little pole nice and shiny. There we go. I am satisfied. I'm just going to merge it all down. Alright, let's go do her zipper now. Yes, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Alright, I'm gonna put this one in shadow here. I think I already did, didn't I? Oh no, I didn't. Okay, there we go. I am a girl. I want a little shadow right here too, now that I think about it. I have not. I don't think I have watched TV for like for a very long time. I'll leave it at that. It has been a long time since I've really watched anything at all. It means I do not watch TV. I don't watch movies, I don't watch television shows. Hello again, Tito. And yeah, I mean, I don't even do that much. Alright, I just want a tiny little shadow here, give the zipper a little bit more presence, and then... let's see, do I want to make the edge a little bit rough? I probably do. I think I'm gonna put in some shadows first. At least now I know why the color wasn't going in properly. I, for whatever reason, had my brush set to overlay still. These things happen. I know, it's fantastic. Today is a good day. I like it when people are able to stop by. So, as always, thank you guys for stopping by. It definitely makes it more fun when there are other people here, and I'm not just talking to myself like an insane person. Okay, I think I might need a slightly more contrasting color for this, so let's get a nice dark color here. Maybe not that one, though. No, don't worry, I'm okay. But, I am happy when people are able to come. Okay, so this is a small zipper, so I'm gonna... You know, it probably doesn't actually make sense to shade each an individual tooth. So let's actually just go ahead and go in and add in some little divots here. And we'll just give a zipper-like impression here. I don't want to spend too long in this. I have not tried to draw Ririsya yet. Maybe someday. It's like, I don't know, if you guys have any requests for whoever you want me to draw, then, you know, I can, I will take it into consideration. If I happen to get a good idea. Well, right now, I am drawing a girl. And I do enjoy drawing people. And I see I'm gonna have to add more shading underneath there. Yeah, always. You can always shoot. You don't have to ask first. Just ask your question. And I will choose whether or not I wish to answer it. Sure thing. Alright. It's alright. I'm just drawing a zipper here. Ah, Chicago pizza. You know, I'd actually have to see how she feels about that. I don't know what she considers abominations against Italian food. I am drawing on my computer with a drawing tablet. Yeah, I list all the information that I use on tools I use to draw up in the description, if you're ever curious. But yes, I have a screenless drawing tablet, so that means that, well, that there's no screen on it. So I look up at my computer monitor to see what I'm drawing. Currently I'm taking time off to take care of my kids. Before that, I was a programmer. I did software development. I do. I have 2 kids, and they are fantastic. I am not saying my kids' names on the internet. That sounds like a bad idea. Alright, let's just get a little bit of shadows in there. And I will go ahead and finish making this look nice. And then I can add maybe an occasional bit of highlight on this. All right. Dude, just ask your questions. You don't have to state that you have a question every time. It's cool. Don't worry, man. Just ask them. Yes, and I personally do not like eggs very much. But I ate a ton of them while I was pregnant because I wanted my kids to like eggs, and it worked. They both like eggs very much. So, no regrets there. Alright, I'm gonna get this zipper before I do anything else. Let me see. This one's facing, like, this direction. So I want to put the teeth over here. Those are too close together. And I actually do have an idea for Pippa, but it is not that. Granted, it could. I could put that into it, but I have a pretty good idea. I will draw that at some point. Because I like it lots. Don't worry, it's coming. Don't worry, I'm glad that they think eggs are delicious. It's important. Eggs are extremely healthy. My guy, stop spamming question in the chat and just ask your question. Please. Do not wait for me to acknowledge that you have a question. Just ask the question, please. Oh, for the Pippa drawing? Well, that you'll have to wait and see. But I like it. It's a good... I think it'll be pretty good once I decide to go and draw it. Okay, let's go ahead and clean up the edge here. Dude, if you keep spamming question in the chat, I will mute you. Just ask the question. Stop doing that. I am dead serious at this point. It is obnoxious. Don't worry about it, man. I have been very explicit. Please. Just ask the question. Do not wait for me to acknowledge that you have a question. Just ask it. That is all. I do not know how I can be more clear about how I would like you to approach this. When am I gonna draw it? I don't know. When I finish one of the things that I'm working on. The order I do things varies largely on my mood. Okay, and let's see. For this highlight, I actually kind of like this color. Oh no. No, I am too arachnophobic to be drawn spiders, man. Never. I refuse. All right. So there we go. That's a zipper. Let's go ahead and Yeah, I think I'll draw the dress next. So I think it is now time to actually fix the contrast between the dress and the hands. Fortunately, I don't think that'll actually be that hard. There's a lot going on down there. So, like, is this legit the only part of the dress that's showing? Let me hide her sleeves here. I have listened to many songs. Let me see. The song I've been listening to lately is Hello Strobe. It's a very cute Miku song. Okay, I think that's the only part I have to smooth out. Let me see, where are the straps of her dress here? I'm gonna take away her head again, just so I can see what's going on. Alright, I should alter the shape of this edge then. Should be more like that. I am not sure which song you're referring to. It's okay, I don't need to apologize for it, it's just, I don't know what song you're referring to. Alright, let's get some shadows in there. It's gonna all kind of fade into nothing here, which I think is okay for what this is. So I'll get the cast shadows from the hair going on here. Have I ever heard Poster Boy? No, I am not familiar with that song. Or at least I'm assuming it's a song from context. Alright, and then I think some of the dress is showing down here, so I better get all that in shadow. Alright, I will see about that. I mean, I'm not going to be listening to anything potentially copyrighted on stream, so I can see about this stuff after stream. Okay, and let me see, where do her arms go? I'm not going to change my music on stream. Okay, and then I see that I have a layer specifically for arms. Although... Oh, no, it's just because I had the layer locked. That's fine. I'll just go ahead and... add some color there. Kinda figure out where her arm is here. Okay, and then I can go back to locking the layer and get some, nice shadows from the hair and stuff. Alright, looks good to me. I don't feel like I have to do very much with this area. Yes, there are indeed still very many people I can draw. I doubt I will run out of content ever. Especially if you include independent ones. All right, there we go. I think that's fine for that area. Still, yeah, it doesn't really look murky. I think you can kind of feel out what's going on there. So let's see. Where's my arm layer? Okay, I'm gonna put that in shadow, but the rest I think can be in light. What do you mean? I'm doing great. Look at how well the picture's coming. Life is good. No, I want a little more shadow there. Let's make that a little thicker. There we go. And I think that's fine for that spot again. I think I will add just a little bit of red to her shoulders. Not too much. As always, she is still undead, so I don't want to overdo it. But I want a little. There we go. I think that's perfect. Okay. Is it time to do the back of the coat? I guess no, it's actually probably time to do the back of the hair. Yeah, I think it's about time to do the back of the hair. Man, but that means I have to find it. If you do, you will be muted. So, try me. Rude. Okay, so I got that big white ribbon there. And then I just got the back of the hair here. What I mean is that if you spam my chat, doing something that I have explicitly told you not to do, I will ban you. That's it. Okie dokie, friend. See you later. Come back in like, 5 minutes or so. Once I figure out how to do it. I've never had to time out someone before. Oh, here it is. 5 minutes. Seems perfect. Alright. So don't worry, you can come back in 5 minutes. But, yeah. Don't test me. I don't appreciate it. Alright, let's make this back hair look nice now. To be clear, I don't mind people asking questions, but please, if you have a question, just ask the question. You don't need to say that you have a question multiple times before asking the question. It's fine. I am very open to questions. I enjoy them. It's wonderful. Even if they're not art related. Alright, let's smooth this out here. And I think that's pretty much it. I think I have to do a little bit to make it a little bit more hair-like. When normally I would just pick a shadow color and let it fade into nothing. But I don't think that's going to work very well here. So I will still pick the shadow color. I'm going to use the same color I used for the eyes. Just because she has such a muted color palette, I don't want to use too many colors. And I think the hair up there looks fine, so I'll keep that. And then I will just add a few lights here and there. Just give it a little bit of hair texture. That's fine. I'm not too irritated. It's just, I don't know. I feel like if somebody is like directly challenging you like that, you gotta put a stop to it. Because I don't know. If you're weak on moderation, bad things are gonna happen, and it'll be terrible. Okay. Oh, yeah, I think that's all I need to do. So I think that's perfect. So that's it for the back hair. So now I think it's time for the back of the coat. So just like this little corner here. And I keep having a hard time telling exactly how the back of it should look. Because when I look over here, I see like this little triangle pattern. But that doesn't exist all the way through. Like, I think it's kind of implied through here, but I barely see it at all on this side. Indeed. It is what it is. But, you know what? I think the little triangle pattern looks good, and I think I can do some cool things with it. So I'm gonna keep it. Right now, I do have it in more of a square pattern, because that was easier to draw. But now I think it is time to refine that into what it should actually look like. Oops, I do not have the layer locked. That's a problem. I don't mind. It's okay. Sometimes a little bit of shaming is healthy. But for now, I think I'm just gonna go back to focusing on the drawing, because drawing is fun. And it makes everything better. So let's see, I'm just gonna draw a little bit more diagonal than I did before. I'm gonna try to keep it simple. I don't want to be spending an eternity on this. And then I can kind of get triangular shapes like this. I mean, it's gonna end up being more diamond-like, but I think that's fine. I'll see how it looks. No, that doesn't quite work for me. Alright. I don't really feel like drawing them individually is a good idea, though. Let me take a look at how they're actually on there. No, I do think they are diamonds. Just the way that this one in particular is folding. This looks like it's going to continue, like there's a fold and it's going to continue down like this. Okay. I think I got it. So what I want to do then... Okay, just trying to get this accurate. What I want to do is I need to make sure that it's folding correctly. Like, when I was doing it like this, that was just too straight. So, what I'm looking at how this is folding, and it's kind of going outward. So this is probably going inward. Okay. I told you, man, I'm dead serious. I do not make empty threats. But don't worry. If you have a question to ask, you can ask it. I will decide if I want to answer it. All right, let's see. Thinking about how to do this. So if this is facing this way, then I think the shape I want is going to be like this. And then I can just add a few lumps in there as I see fit. How tall am I? I am quite short. Exact numbers unnecessary, but I am definitely in the bottom percentile of height. Okay, and I think something like that should work pretty well. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I think I'm gonna liquefy a little bit of this, though. just make it a little bit more foldy, I guess. I'll add another one over there. Just so this way it doesn't look quite so stiff. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then the way I'm going to handle the rest of the texture here is via gradient. This is how digital art is made. I just like drawing all the things. So I'm going to add just a little bit of a gradient on the side that faces the light. I don't want things to get too bright. And I will start fading away those lines that I just drew in order to kind of blend things in a little nicer here. I don't want to completely get rid of them. Not completely. I just don't want them to be quite so strong. And then the places that are in shadow are going to get much darker. Again, not going to completely get rid of them, but they will just blend in a little bit more. And then I think this will give kind of a similar impression to what's going on here. And I'm just going to slowly build up the values here. And then I will get the parts that I think will be the lightest in a little bit. So this will be like the parts more directly facing the light at the very top. And then it looks like it's a bit shiny because I see some little specular highlights like here, here, and here. It's okay. French is too terrifying for me. I use a drawing tablet. Mouse would be quite difficult because mice do not get pressure sensitivity, which is extremely useful. I have information on tools and stuff in the description if you're curious about the exact model of tablet and all that stuff. I don't know, maybe this is too soft, though. No, I think it looks okay. I think it's good. Yeah, but basically what it lets you do is, you know how you draw with a real pencil? If you press harder, your line will get a little darker, and if you press more softly, it'll be lighter. That's basically what it imitates. So it makes it this way: when you press softer, you get certain effects, and when you press lighter, it'll be different. And I don't know what I would do without that. It makes life so much easier. Alright, and I think that I've almost got this texture the way I want. I don't think I need to make it super detailed here since it's just kind of background stuff. So I think it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And I'm just going to add some small, lighter highlights on them. Just where I feel like the light hits the most strongly. Alright, we're done with this. Let's see, that's just regular timeouts. Okay, that's fine. I'll just do that for now. Okay. Anywho. I guess I should actually learn how to use the moderation features. I've just never had to. Anyway, but on art notes, I just put in some tiny highlights here. building up the values there. I gave him a chance. But I don't know. It's pretty easy to tell the difference between somebody who's genuinely trolling and someone who is perhaps just not super socially competent. Okay, and I think that's probably good. I think I want to blanket darken everything. I think I made everything just a little bit too light. But there we go. I think that's fine. I don't think it needs any further details, really. So let's see here. Fur. Oh, God. There just had to be fur. Okay, so first things first. I want to get the edge of this. I'll let it kind of... Let's see, where does it stick out here? So strictly speaking, I think it should actually be curling onto this as well. But I really don't want to draw it like that, so I'm going to draw it like this. That's fine. I wouldn't say I'm fretting. It's just that, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, when you give explicit instructions and they won't follow it, there's only so much you can do. I'm really not that concerned. I just feel like it's especially true for me because I feel like some of my viewers can be quite young. I've had some that have said that they're 13, and... oh, I see. It is true. Metal Gear I'm actually familiar with, but to be fair, it has been, like, a really long time since I have played it. Anyway, where was I? Right, I was fixing the light here. Okay. So... man, I'm not actually sure if I like how soft I made that. Oh, whatever, I don't feel like redrawing it, so I'm gonna call it good, and I'm just gonna go draw the fur here. Here goes nothing! Okay. How is it drawn on her? Yeah, it's very, very short fur. I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail here. I do want the edge to look furry, though, so I will draw that. But the inside, I'm not gonna draw, like, every single little fur bit. That sounds like hell. So we're just gonna draw some fluffy bits, and I'm gonna call it good. And then I will put in some shadows, and I will make it also look a little bit fluffy. And then that will also be good. And I think I'm on track for finishing the girl today, so I'm happy. The thing in the lower left corner, it's a cloud. I just wanted something to put the chat on. Just so that this way it would contrast a little more. I see. Yes. It's like, look, man, I remember. I remember. It has been a long time, but I used to be, like, really good at chess. Like, I won tournaments. I'm not sure if I could do that anymore. I am super out of practice. It just, certain things always fall to the wayside. sometimes it's a little bit sad, but, you know, I'm doing a lot of interesting things still, I think. So I'm not too sad that I haven't played much chess. Fortunately for me, it was less a lack of time and more just that my interest in it waned, and I got really annoyed with the type of people that I was playing against. The egos in the chess world or something else. I don't know. I think I'm good enough that I'm not sure how much the other members of Phase Connect would be able to help me. I didn't watch that one. I haven't really had much time to watch streams, and I fully admit that 90% of my stream watching is me going through Outer Wilds VODs. I love watching people play Outer Wilds. Someday, I'm sure we'll have time again. Okay, that is good. That is sufficiently fur-like. Alright, then I just kind of want to blob this out a little bit. Cover the areas that I think need to be covered. And I will do a little bit of smoothing, but not as much as usual. Just kind of let it follow the shape of the code. I'm kind of paying attention to what's down there. Letting it follow the same general shape. And actually, there's a little bit I want to do down here. I kind of want to do a little bit of erasing in the areas that I think are like little divots. Make it look a little bit fluffier. There we go. That is just a little bit better. Back to what I was doing. Okay. Let's make this fluffy. And I don't want the fur bits to be too long. I definitely made them too long there. So once again, I'm just gonna draw a fur texture. And once this shadow part is done, I'm gonna add just a few more shadows here and there. But that'll be it for fur. I don't really feel the need to make a little background piece, like, super perfectly detailed. If I was drawing a cat, for example, I might care more, because fluffy cats are the best, and it's just a crime to make a fluffy cat not look fluffy. So then I might actually care about the level of detail in the fur, but, you know, not what I'm doing here, so it's fine. It is fine. And the fur here is quite short, so I'm varying the size and direction quite a bit here. That tends to make it look fluffier in my experience than kind of keeping everything the same direction. I mean, I've talked about varying the length of things at length, if you will. But that's the biggest thing you can do to make things look more organic. Is a vary width and length. The direction here is just, again, because it's short fur. If it was long like hair, I'd keep things in following the same direction a little bit more. But here, because it's short, I want it to go just all over the place. Okay, and I think that should be fine. Yeah, that looks pretty furry. So now I'm just gonna add a few spots here and there, just to kind of bring it all together. Here I'm being a little bit more controlled, but only a little. And it doesn't really matter if I follow the strokes perfectly. This is just for a little bit of additional texture throughout. And I'll be doing the same in the shadow areas as well. Just with the lighter color instead of the darker one. But this way it feels like one coherent thing instead of me just drawing two separate fur textures. Just kind of like that. That should be fine. And then I'll just do a little bit of the same in the shadow area, just with the light. A few areas that just happen to catch a little bit of light. Feels weird to be leaving something this scribbly, but I unironically think it's fine. And I'll just add a little bit of lighting and call it good. Alright, where's my light color? Okay, and then I think I will give it just a few highlights. It looks a little bit matte, so I don't want it to be like super duper shiny, but I do think a few highlights will just, in the brightest part of the light, will go a long way. Just over here. Just right through there, and I think that's probably sufficient. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. Yep, that's good. Okay, I think that looks sufficiently fuzzy. I'll draw just about anything. I mostly draw humanoid females, basically. So I won't do like anthropomorphic characters, and that's about it, really. I'm willing to do robots and stuff, but for the most part, I do like drawing female characters, which makes VTubers an excellent target. And the reason I've been mostly doing them is just because I haven't really had time to play a lot of games or watch anime or anything. And VTubers have great designs, so they're fun to draw. Alright, so I do believe that it's almost time for lighting, but I am definitely not ready for that today. So I guess while I have a little bit of extra time here, I'm gonna go refine the edge of the umbrella. It doesn't look that bad, fortunately. Name an anime I watched? I mean, if you just want some favorites, it'd be like, I'll start with the most vanilla and normie of favorites of Full Metal Alchemist. And, look, it's good, okay? And, let's see, I like, Black Lagoon. And Mob Psycho 100% was also extremely good. Besides that, I kind of have to think. What other stuff did I really just really enjoy? That just made me never want to put it down. God, it's been so long since I've actually, like, sat down and watched stuff. I can't remember things anymore. I remember I really wanted to like Black Clover, but after the first arc ended, I just didn't think it was nearly as good. For another normie take. I'm just trying to recount backwards. Okay, but I guess I can talk. Lately, I've been more reading webcomics in preparation for hopefully writing my own eventually. But man, now even trying to remember that off the top of my head is hard. And I'm again just trying to remember ones that I just could not put down. Pretty much all of Carnby Kim's thrillers were good. So what, Bastard, Sweet Home, Shotgun Boy. Some of the other ones were mixed, but those ones were good. Why can I not remember the things I've been doing for the past month? Yeah, the Fullmetal Alchemist anime that followed the manga more closely, I thought was better. Cowboy Bebop, I actually thought was more style than substance. But very entertaining style-wise. But sorry, I'm just having, like, major brain farts here. I'm always bad at remembering things that I used to like, and there's... And my memory has just felt, like, especially bad lately. I'll have to, like, go through lists again. I think I'd probably have the same reaction even if you asked me about video games, which I actually remember better than the average anime. Oh, man. I think it's just a sign I haven't been getting enough sleep. Not necessarily due to anything I've been doing, just that, I'm prone to insomnia. And lately, I have been, sleepwalking again. It happens periodically, and it's really annoying. Because it's like I sleep, and I sleep a lot, but it doesn't feel like I'm getting well rested. Oh no. That sounds like something terrifying. I try to remember how to draw drops off of an umbrella. So I'm just looking up some references of umbrellas in the rain real quick. But they're all so freaking dramatic about it. Okay. I think I got it. And then I just need to make this look like water at some point. I'm probably not going to finish this part today, but I'd like to kind of get started. Then what about parts at an angle? How does water fall off that? All right. Well, enjoy your coffee. Don't worry, it's been nice talking. I just wish that my memory wasn't being obnoxious. Let's see, it doesn't really make sense for gravity to be pulling drops like much further than that, I think. I'll go ahead and draw a few like this. Probably gonna have to head out fairly soon, but I'll go get a few of these in. Yeah, that looks better than what I had. And I just won't be quite as thorough in letting rain drip off here, since this is like a vertical drop. Yeah, that looks pretty okay. And then maybe just a few larger little drops falling down here from it all. Yeah, I don't think they'd really fall from there, but they probably would fall from here. Okay. So I don't know, maybe something like this. Probably more here. Oh no. Yeah. It does seem like it would be nice. It's like most of the time I sleep fine, it's just sometimes I just get into stretches where I start sleepwalking for some reason, and I don't know why. At some point I'll have to have a sleep study done again. I just couldn't for the past couple of years because I had a very strange sleep schedule. Until recently, until my daughter started school, basically. I was going to bed at 3 p.m. and waking up at 11 p.m. And that was just something that worked really well with taking care of kids. It meant that my husband could cover the other shift, basically, and so we had an adult awake 24 hours a day, anytime they needed something. So, very worth doing. But it also meant that I, couldn't function with people that wanted to exist at normal people times. So I couldn't do things like that. But I might actually be able to get a sleep study done this year. We'll see. Maybe they can actually figure out what's going on. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh no. That does sound pretty terrible. Man, I like how I look up references for a transparent umbrella and I just immediately get a bunch of anime. I was kind of hoping for photo reference, but I think anime's probably fine. I just kind of prefer references that are not AI. Because that sounds like a great way to draw something that does not make sense. Ah, here's a real one. No, not much right on it, though. Unfortunate. Okay, I think I have a general idea. I'm not that far off. Oh no. I mean, it's true. They're little. They don't understand yet. All they know is that, you know, the big person is being annoying. Okay, I need a stencil to kind of help me out here. I want the drops to be a little bit more random. So that's when I break out my splatter brush and the hot pink. And this will give me an idea of where to put things, so that this way it's a little bit more random than what I can do on my own. The human brain is surprisingly bad at drawing things randomly. Seems earned. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure why Krita was lagging so hard there, but it sure was. Okay. So I'll get some of these in, and then I think I will stop there, and I will refine them next time. But I did make my goal of finishing cleaning up her. I still have to do the lighting and stuff. That'll... I kind of want to finish the background before I do all the lighting on her. Sometimes I do it first, sometimes I don't. And in this case, I think I want to do it after, because I want to make sure that all the rainbows and stuff and how that's affecting the rest of the world makes sense with how I shade her. So, in this case, I've got a bunch of lighting shenanigans going on elsewhere that I want to make sure looks good too. It is. And the best part is this year I'm not going to be asleep at 3 p.m. So I actually get to go trick-or-treating with my kids. And that'll be pretty great. Okay, that does look good. Now I want to add some, like, trails. You know what? I'm just gonna... I'm feeling bold. I'm just gonna do it directly on this layer. I just want to add some little spots where it's streaking down the umbrella. Actually, I think it should be more like this. Yes. There we go. And then we'll just let the watercolor kind of flow together. I'll do a little bit on that side, but I'm less concerned about it. Okay, and I think that should look pretty good once it's all properly shaded. I think it's looking pretty decent now, certainly better than what I had before, so I am happy. Alright, I'm gonna go turn my layers back on, and I think that is where I will stop for today. Let's get the foreground back in there. Alright. Yeah, so I think I'm well set to finish this within the next 1 or 2 streams. So... next week there may be something new, or if I need 2 streams to finish up the rest of the background, the week after. Ooh. So that'll be exciting. I'm still kind of debating what I want to draw next, but there we go. So I think that's where I will stop for today. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.